spotting my mother returning home with oleander in her hands. I immediately took to my heels, as soon as I realized the situation. Whether you all wish to court death is your own affair. But for heaven's sake, don't drag me into it. What are you standing there dully for at the door, you silly girl? Hurry up and come in. Not far away, my mother was approaching me with several oleander branches in her hand. After a half-second of stunned silence, I quickly came to my senses. So I had been reborn. A seething hatred instantly engulfed my entire being. In my previous life, because my sister-in-law was pregnant, I specially brought fruits to visit her at home. Just then, my mother came back from a stroll in the park, casually picking up several oleander branches from the park. This flower smells so fragrant. Have a sniff, my mother said as she handed the oleander to my sister-in-law. After taking it, my sister-in-law placed it under her nose and took a whiff. Such a unique aroma. She couldn't help but move closer and inhale deeply again. I realized that this flower was the poisonous oleander, and immediately warned them not to touch it. Throw it away quickly. This flower can be deadly, I said, carefully taking the flower with a tissue and going out to throw it into the trash can. Then in great haste, I dragged my sister-in-law and rushed outside, intending to take her to the hospital for a check-up. I was afraid that if we were late, it might be too late. Hurry up, sister-in-law. I'm taking you to the hospital. Otherwise, your baby might not be saved. However, instead of being grateful, they lashed out at me, calling me a meddler. As soon as my sister-in-law heard that the baby might not be saved, her face darkened instantly, and she gave me a hard push, knocking me directly to the ground. How unlucky. My baby is perfectly fine. How dare you curse me like this? Bah, she said, spitting on my face. My mother also flew into a rage, and slapped me hard across the face. Beat you, you wretched girl. How dare you curse your sister-in-law? She's carrying our family's precious grandson. Do you believe I'll slap you to death? She said, making a gesture as if to hit me again on the face. I instinctively covered my face with both hands. I tried my best to explain to them, Mom, sister-in-law, I'm really not lying to you. This is oleander, a poisonous oleander. It's harmful to the human body, especially extremely dangerous for pregnant women. It might still be in time to go to the hospital now. If we're late, the baby might not be saved. Unexpectedly, instead of getting their understanding, my explanation only enraged them further. My mother gritted her teeth in anger, and came up to give me 2 resounding slaps. My sister-in-law, still fuming, chased me out of the house with a broom, shouting, You jinx! Get out! Worried about them, I stood at the door, earnestly trying to persuade them, but they simply wouldn't listen. After a while, a sudden exclamation came from inside the house. My mother's panicked voice rang out. Jine, you mustn't have anything wrong. Don't scare me. You have to protect my precious grandson. I hurriedly knocked on the door, and asked my mother what had happened. Only then did my mother remember me, and told me to call 120 immediately. At the hospital, I paid a large sum of surgical fees. My sister-in-law was wheeled into the emergency room. The doctor said that she had been exposed to a large amount of oleander pollen, and might be in life-threatening danger. The doctor told us to be prepared mentally. My mother was so frightened that she immediately knelt down. Please, doctor, save my daughter-in-law. She's carrying our family's grandson in her belly. I quickly pulled my mother up and comforted her, saying that my sister-in-law was blessed and would be fine. Then I asked the doctor to examine my mother. Her condition was not as serious as my sister-in-law's. She just needed to take some medicine. At this moment, my brother rushed over in a great hurry when he heard the news. Usually, my brother had a fiery temper, and now, upon hearing that his child might not be saved, he completely lost his temper. What on earth is going on? Who is trying to harm my child? Seeing this, my mother immediately pushed me forward as a scapegoat, pointing at me and saying, It's her. She's the one who tried to harm your sister-in-law. She brought the poisonous oleander home. I was completely stunned, looking at my mother in disbelief. My mother quickly pushed me towards my brother, distancing herself from me. Son, it's all her doing. Settle the score with her. My brother looked at me angrily, forcefully dragging me to a secluded corner. Without a word, he swung his fist at my face. He used all his strength, showing no mercy. His feet also didn't stop. He treated me like a punching bag, venting his anger on me with kick after kick. I was in so much pain that I couldn't even cry out. I curled up into a ball, covering my head, enduring his violence. At this time, my mother was watching all this from not far away, unmoved. Only when I stopped moving did my brother stop impatiently. The doctor came out to announce the diagnosis result. My sister-in-law's life was saved, but the baby in her belly was lost. I limped out of the hospital and went home. When my brother heard the result, he was still not satisfied. He caught up with me, brought a bucket of gasoline, and poured it all over me. Then he lit a fire. The intense flames engulfed me. I endured the excruciating pain. There was no strength left in my whole body to struggle. It hurt so much. Who will come and save me? The only response I got was the sinister laughter of my brother and my mother. In the end, I was burned to a charred corpse. My brother picked up a sack, put me in it, and transported me to a desolate construction site in the suburbs, throwing me in directly. As the memories flooded back, I truly wished to berate myself. I felt so unjust for my past self. In my previous life, due to my meddling, I met a tragic end. Now having been reborn, I definitely will not meddle anymore. At this moment, seeing the oleander in my mother's hand, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Since they are bent on courting death, then I should just grant their wish. Without saying a word, I clutched my handbag tightly and turned to run. My mother was still cursing behind me. Are you really my daughter? You turn around and run as soon as you see your mother, not even bothering to say hello. You're really an ungrateful wretch. I had long been numb to such words. Let her say whatever she wants. I might as well consider it as her talking nonsense. After leaving my mother's residential community, I went straight back to the home I shared with my husband. My father passed away when we were very young. My mother ran a small grocery store alone, and worked hard to raise my brother and me. I had always thought my mother had it tough. I studied hard since childhood, got into a decent university, and strived to earn money to subsidize the family. My brother never liked studying since he was young, and only cared about playing games all day long. My mother would say, "Your brother isn't cut out for studying. Anyway, there's a grocery store at home, and it will be his in the future. Your mother's sweet little cotton-padded jacket. You must be filial to mother in the future." I was so thoroughly brainwashed by my mother since childhood that I didn't even notice anything wrong with her words. So after getting married, I often brought things back to my natal home and provided them with financial support. I paid for building a new house at home, and also for my brother's betrothal gift when he got married. I had sacrificed so much for this family, yet in the end, I still died miserably at their hands. However, fortunately, I finally saw their true colors. Now I no longer have any feelings for them. Whether they live or die has nothing to do with me. I just need to take care of my own small family. In the evening, my brother suddenly called me and said, "Sis, come to the hospital immediately. Something has happened to mom and your sister-in-law. We urgently need a sum of surgical fees now. Hurry up." I feigned surprise and said, "What? You said mom and sister-in-law? How come? Were they poisoned?" Don't ask so many questions. Drive over here right away. They can't enter the emergency room without paying the money." My brother shouted impatiently at me. I perfunctorily replied, "Oh, okay. I'll come right away." Before hanging up the phone, my brother didn't forget to remind me, "Remember to bring a lot of money. This is the life, saving money for your mom and sister-in-law." I got it, bro. After hanging up the phone, I finally couldn't hold back my laughter. I didn't expect a good show to start so soon. I threw my phone aside, then went to the kitchen to cut some fruits, and lay comfortably on the sofa watching TV. After a while the phone rang again. "Hello, where are you? Why haven't I seen you yet?" My brother anxiously urged on the other end of the phone. I stuffed a piece of fruit into my mouth and mumbled, I'm almost there. I'm driving on the road. I won't talk to you for now. Hurry up. Mom just vomited a big bag again. We can't afford to delay any longer." Through the phone, I could even sense the bunkoidic expression on my brother's face at this moment. He was really such a good son of my mother. When something happened, he didn't pay a single cent, and only knew to ask me for money to be filial. Considering how they treated me, I will return it all to them this time. Just you wait and see how I deal with you. Soon my brother called again. This time he directly roared on the other end of the phone. "Li Xiaoping, are you dead or lame? It takes you ages to drive. You're making me worried to death here. How much longer until you arrive? Hurry up and give me an answer. I'll drive over." I imitated the female lead in a TV drama and cried, "Bro, it's all your fault. Because you were urging me, I hit a car driven by a guy. It's a Maserati, and he's asking me for 200,000 yuan. He'll beat me if I don't pay. I'm at the crossroads in front of the park. Bro, come and save me quickly." My brother couldn't help but curse, and then said to me, "Well, transfer the surgical fees to my bank card first. You can come to the hospital after you settle the matter there." Hearing him say this, I almost burst out laughing in anger. So my mother and my sister-in-law's lives are lives, but my life isn't? I continued to play the victim. "No, I can't get away now. Why don't you come and take over for me so that I can go over? Go to hell. Clean up your own mess. Don't drag me into it." After saying that, my brother directly hung up the phone. This was exactly what I wanted. Finally, I had some peace and quiet. I threw my phone aside and continued watching TV. As for those 3 people in the hospital, let them fend for themselves. Later, I heard that it was my sister-in-law's relatives who paid for their surgeries and pulled them back from the jaws of death. Otherwise, relying on my good-for-nothing brother, it would have been God knows when he could raise the money. My sister-in-law's child still unfortunately miscarried. Because both she and my mother had been exposed to oleander for a relatively long time, their symptoms were very severe, and they didn't recover even after lying in bed for several months. Now my brother not only lost his child, but also had to take care of 2 patients. He would be busy for a while, while my husband and I were at home, preparing for a baby in peace. Not long after, I found out that I was pregnant. 3 months later, my mother's body hadn't fully recovered yet, but she called me in a hurry. I thought she was going to scold me for not visiting her, but unexpectedly, she was extremely enthusiastic on the other end of the phone. "You little girl, you're pregnant and you didn't tell Mom. How long were you going to keep it from me?" If it weren't for Aunt Wong, our old neighbor, telling me, I'd still be in the dark. I originally didn't plan to tell them about my pregnancy, but I didn't expect to run into Aunt Wong at the supermarket last time. She noticed my pregnant belly, and then told my mother about it. Now the whole family knew. My mother continued, "The day after tomorrow, your brother has reserved a private room at Genting Hotel to treat everyone to a meal. Remember to come." Treat everyone to a meal? This didn't seem like something my brother would do. I asked her in confusion. For no reason, why is my brother treating everyone to a meal? Hey, isn't this to celebrate that your mother and your sister-in-law have come back from the brink of death? Also, now that you're pregnant, it's a huge good thing. Of course, we should have a meal to celebrate. I always had a feeling that something was wrong. I held the phone and didn't say a word. My mother continued to urge. Anyway, just come. I'll send you the specific address on your phone later. Hearing her say this, I felt even more that something was amiss. I originally wanted to directly refuse and not get involved in this mess. But then I thought, no, I had to go and see what tricks they were up to. My mother, seeing that I didn't speak, urged again. "We won't harm you. When has your mother ever harmed you?" Really? I couldn't help but snort coldly. Hadn't she harmed me enough in my previous life? I pretended not to know and said, "Okay, Mom. I'll definitely come the day after tomorrow." I told my husband about this. He was worried and went with me. When we arrived at the private room, I realized that my mother had also invited all our relatives. It seemed that this was a Yan, a dinner with ulterior motives. As soon as my mother saw me, she happily stuffed a gift into my hand. "This was personally chosen by your brother and your sister-in-law as a gift for your baby." At this time my brother and sister-in-law also came over to me, smiling at me for a rare time. "You're here. Hurry and find a seat." I imitated their appearance and forced a smile at them. Anyone can pretend. Soon, the food was served, and everyone started to take their seats and prepare to eat. My mother specially exchanged seats with someone else and squeezed next to me. She ladled a bowl of chicken soup for me. "Quick, drink this soup. It's very nourishing and good for the baby in your belly." My husband and I looked at each other. Then I turned to my mother and said, "Thank you, Mom." My husband took the soup and placed it on his side, not touching it at all. I secretly observed my brother with my peripheral vision, and saw him whispering with my sister-in-law, not knowing what they were discussing. "See ho." My brother elbowed my mother, and the two of them exchanged a look. Only then did my mother get to the point. "Well, Ting, your sister-in-law's body was injured some time ago. The doctor said her chances of getting pregnant again are very low. Now that you're pregnant, we discussed and thought that after you give birth, you could give the child to your brother." I was completely dumbfounded. How could they say such shameless things? Of course, my husband and I would raise the child I gave birth to. Why should we give it to them? Seeing my stiff face, my sister-in-law quickly came out to smooth things over. "Oh," shouting, "we're all family. Your child is our child, isn't it?" How ridiculous. Who on earth is family with them? So they had been building up to this all along. My husband squeezed my palm, comforting me not to be angry. I lowered my head and said to my husband, "Let's go back. We can't eat this meal." We stood up and prepared to leave. "Sorry, I just remembered that we have other things to do. We'll leave first." My mother panicked. "Why are you leaving as soon as you arrive? Even if you really have something to do, you should at least finish the meal before leaving." I was too lazy to maintain the pretense of being polite, and directly told them, "There's no way I'll give my child to you for adoption." As soon as my brother heard this, he got angry. "Look at you. Where's your sense of propriety? Your brother is so miserable. How can you bear to add insult to injury?" I retorted, "Then do you have any sense of being a brother?" My brother slapped the table hard. "Nonsense. What are you talking about?" He looked at the other relatives at the table. "Dear uncles and aunts, please help us judge." I looked around at the others. Their expressions were all very calm. Presumably, my mother had already bribed them in advance, and was just waiting to morally blackmail me together. My mother was the first to nod. "Yes, it wasn't easy for your mother to raise you. You should understand your mother. She just wants to hold her grandson. Just fulfill her wish." As soon as my mother spoke, the other relatives also chimed in. Second Uncle Gong said, "It's a pity. Your father only had your brother as a son. You mustn't let the family line end with him." My aunt also said, "Yes, anyway, you can still have more children. Just give this unborn child to your brother. It's not a big deal." At this point my sister-in-law's eyes also turned red, shouting, "Please just consider it as your sister-in-law begging you. We're all women. Please have some compassion for me." Looking at their ugly faces, if it were in my previous life, I probably would have really compromised and stupidly accepted this shameless request. But now, I'm a person who has died once. I'm no longer the me from before. I smiled sarcastically at them and said, "Okay, it's not impossible for me to give the child to you for adoption. But it wasn't easy for me to carry this child. I've spent a lot of money. Just the nutritional injections in the early stage cost 20,000 yuan each. The imported ones from abroad are a bit more expensive, and I still need to continue taking them in the later stage. Plus other miscellaneous expenses. It will probably cost several 100,000 yuan. Transfer this money to me first. As soon as they heard this amount, their faces all turned black, and they were immediately speechless. My brother slapped the table hard again. Are you crazy about money? You don't even need that much money to adopt a child. My mother also stopped pretending, and directly revealed her true colors. Money, money, money. All you care about is money. You don't care at all whether your family members live or die. I worked so hard to raise you, and you can't even fulfill this request. You might as well just die. Look at this so-called family they keep talking about. In my previous life, I was really blind to have painstakingly maintained this ridiculous family bond. My husband let go of my hand, and was about to argue with them. I didn't want him to get involved, so I dragged him away. As we left, I left a word. I will never come back to this home again. My mother was so angry that she cursed behind us, but we had already walked far away. Who cares what she said? After we got back, I blocked all the contact information of my family members. In the evening, my phone received a call from an unknown number. I answered it in confusion. It was my mother's voice. She resorted to another trick, trying to play the pity card. Ting Ting, you really embarrassed us in front of so many relatives just now. How can you be so naive? We merely asked you for a child. Why do you act as if we're taking your life? On the other end of the phone, my mother's voice sounded rather weary, yet her shrewdness was still discernible. I snorted coldly. If my brother and sister-in-law wanted my life, you'd surely side with them, wouldn't you? My mother was evidently trying hard to rein in her emotions. Ting Ting, I know you're still feeling resentful now, but could you just set aside your temper for a while and listen attentively to the situation of your brother and sister-in-law? You know well that I've always been longing for our family line to continue. Mom knows it's not easy for you being pregnant. So could you just do this favor for your brother? I retorted sarcastically. Does my brother possess a vast fortune that needs to be inherited? My mother was slightly taken aback, and her tone turned displeased. Your brother and sister-in-law have been quarreling at home every day because of the child issue. I'm almost driven crazy. Won't you hurry up and do something to help? I sat by the bedside, gently caressing my slightly bulging abdomen, and replied slowly. It's their business that they're quarreling. What can I do about it? If it really doesn't work out, you might as well tell them to get a divorce. My mother seemed to be enraged by my words, and her tone suddenly turned tough. What kind of attitude is this? Are these even human words you're saying? I enunciated each word clearly. Just because your son and daughter-in-law don't have a child, you want me to give my child to them for adoption. Look at what you're doing. Is this even decent? You wretched girl. You won't listen to reason, will you? It's so hard to talk to you. Fine, just you wait and see how I deal with you. My mother gritted her teeth in anger on the other end of the phone. After saying this, she directly hung up the phone with a loud snap. I promptly blocked her number as well. Although this measure temporarily kept my mother, brother and sister-in-law at bay, I knew they clearly wouldn't give up so easily. One day, I was engrossed in typing on my keyboard in the office when a commotion suddenly came from outside. The sound grew increasingly distinct. I listened carefully. Wasn't that my mother's voice? Jinjiaja. A figure burst into the office. I looked up, and to my astonishment it was my mother. Her eyes were wide open like searchlights, scanning around before locking onto my position. She rushed towards my desk in a few steps. Everyone, come and have a look. Judge for yourselves. The entire office was roused. People raised their heads from behind their computer screens one after another, looking at me in surprise. My mother was shouting at the top of her lungs, instantly becoming the center of attention. Look at my daughter. She's so unfilial. She completely disregards our family's responsibility of carrying on the family line. We almost knelt down to beg her, but she still stubbornly refuses to give her child to her brother for adoption. She just wants to live comfortably on her own. Her conscience has been eaten by dogs. My mother launched into a tirade against me, her words coming out like a rapid-fire machine gun, even more forceful than a gale. The colleagues beside us were all dumbfounded, too embarrassed to even breathe loudly. The security guards, hearing the commotion, came over to persuade my mother to leave, but she flatly refused. Seeing that persuasion was ineffective, 2 security guards came together, preparing to escort my mother out. My mother simply resorted to her old trick of lying on the ground and making a scene. She plopped down on the floor and refused to get up, shouting, "Where's your boss? Come out and fire this person immediately. Such a person doesn't deserve to work here. She should starve on the streets." My mother lay on the ground, her hands clenched into fists, her eyes wide open, looking as if she wouldn't give up until she achieved her goal. The surrounding colleagues exchanged awkward glances, and the atmosphere was extremely embarrassing. Some colleagues tried to soothe my mother and persuade her to get up, saying we should talk things out, but she didn't appreciate it at all. Instead, she became even more worked up, her voice growing louder and louder, audible throughout the entire floor. I had no choice but to take out my phone, pretending to call the police. I shouted at my mother, "Get up or not. If you don't get up, don't blame me for being ruthless." Just then, our company's boss, Sister Andy, emerged from her office. Sister Andy was a middle-aged woman in her 40s, usually a very amiable person. But at this moment her face was ashen. She first said in a deep voice to all of us, "Please return to your workstations. I'll handle this matter." Hearing this, the colleagues all retreated to their desks, but their eyes still stole glances in our direction from time to time. Sister Andy walked up to my mother, squatted down, and tried to communicate with her. Her tone was gentle yet firm. "Auntie, this is a company, not a place to solve personal problems. If you have any opinions or demands, you should express them through proper channels. Now please get up first. We can find a place to sit down and have a good talk." Of course, my mother still lay on the ground, ignoring Sister Andy's persuasion, and refusing to get up, still shouting that she wouldn't get up unless I was fired. Sister Andy sighed helplessly. "Since that's the case, I can only solve this problem in my own way." Sister Andy went into her office and made a phone call. Soon, the police arrived at the scene. After understanding the situation, they escorted my mother out of the company. Finally, this commotion came to an end. I walked over to thank Sister Andy. Sister Andy was a reasonable person. She said to me, shouting, "I understand your current situation. It's really tragic to have such a family. Well, I'll apply for maternity leave for you in advance. During this period, you can have a good rest at home." Then she gave me an idea. "You're quite creative usually. How about being a mom, to be blogger during this maternity leave? Share your pregnancy experiences, as well as those fitness exercises suitable for pregnant women on the internet. It can not only kill time, but also potentially earn some money for baby formula." I often went to the gym with her before, and I didn't stop even after getting pregnant. I learned a set of pregnancy-specific fitness exercises from a foreign mom, to be. She knew about this. She often joked that I was more professional than many bloggers, and could be a blogger myself. In fact, I knew Sister Andy had her own motives. Our company dealt with baby products. Every year, we spend a lot of money on advertising with mom, to be bloggers. She always thought that instead of spending money on hiring others for advertising, it would be better if someone from within the company became a blogger. Since she thought she wasn't suitable, she was looking for the best candidate within the company. Eventually, her eyes fell on me. I thought about it, and felt her proposal was quite good. It could not only help me temporarily forget those annoying family matters, but also keep myself occupied. Why not do it? So, I embarked on my career as a home-based blogger, creating practical content for pregnant women. Every day, apart from taking care of my daily diet and daily life, I uploaded short videos of pregnancy-specific fitness exercises to the internet, teaching everyone how to maintain their figures during pregnancy. "You really are cut out to be a blogger," Sister Andy exclaimed after watching my videos. "These videos are great." But then she changed the subject. "However, your number of likes is a bit low." I smiled and explained, "It's like this at the beginning. It will get better if I persist for a while." Even after posting more than a dozen videos, the situation remained the same. At this time, Sister Andy said to me mysteriously, "How about I give you a hand?" I didn't understand what she meant at that time. That night, when I opened the video app, I found that my latest video had gone viral. The number of likes and comments directly reached 999 plus, and the number of followers was also rising continuously. Overnight, I gained several 100,000 followers. Only then did I realize that Sister Andy had spent a large sum of money to buy a trending topic for me. However, compared with the advertising fees she had spent before, this amount of money was simply negligible. Soon, I used my account to promote the company's products. I sold out a newly launched pair of maternity fitness pants of the company. Sister Andy was overjoyed when she saw this. She not only generously rewarded me with a substantial bonus, but also decided to double my monthly salary. Seeing the bonus credited to my account, I was even more motivated to create videos. The following few videos also had very good results, and everything was continuously developing in a positive direction. However, as the saying goes, when a person becomes famous, troubles follow. When my brother and mother saw that I was thriving as a mom, to be blogger, they couldn't sit still anymore. They came to my doorstep. My brother banged on the door while cursing, "You damned girl. You've made a fortune on your own, and don't care about the lives of your family members anymore. I'll teach you a lesson for making money." My mother also had a venomous tone, scolding, "Your brother and sister-in-law got divorced. Now you're satisfied, you jinx. You really deserve to die." I never expected that my brother and sister-in-law had actually divorced, but I had heard about this before. Because my sister-in-law couldn't have a child, she was constantly scolded by my brother and mother every day. Sometimes my brother even resorted to violence. Unable to bear it, my sister-in-law secretly ran away. In fact, they didn't really divorce. The divorce was just a pretext to cover up the truth of my brother's domestic violence. I walked to the door and pressed the doorbell. My mother's face was filled with greed, and she said gruffly, "You've really made it big now, becoming an online celebrity and making a fortune. We don't want your child anymore. Just give me 100,000 yuan in alimony every month." My brother, with his arms crossed, had a fierce look on his face. "If we don't get the money today, we won't leave." Then my mother resorted to her old trick of making a scene. It seemed that the last lesson wasn't enough. She promptly fell to the ground, slapping the floor hard while wailing, "Neighbors, come and have a look. My unfilial daughter has money, but ignores her family. Is there any justice left? Coincidentally, my husband was at home resting that day. He picked up a spiked club and rushed out directly. Get out of here. This is my and my wife's home. Don't even think about causing trouble here. If you don't leave, I'll let you taste the power of this spiked club. My husband usually worked out with me, and his muscles were bulging, which startled them. As he raised the spiked club high, before he even swung it down, my mother scrambled up from the ground in a panic and dragged my brother away furtively. It seemed that dealing with such scoundrels required using force against force. Unexpectedly, a few days later, my runaway sister-in-law suddenly appeared. She found me near my residential community and grabbed my arm tightly, not letting go. I saw that her eyes were bloodshot and her face was dirty. Presumably, she had suffered a lot these days. Shouting, I know it might be inappropriate for me to come to you so suddenly, but I'm really at the end of my rope. I ignored her and tried to break free from her hand to leave. She held on even tighter and tearfully recounted. Ever since I lost the child, your brother has been beating me constantly. Look at my hands. They're all scarred. As she spoke, she rolled up her sleeves. I took a quick glance and saw only a few bluish-purple scars. In my previous life, this was exactly how she treated me. At that time, she kicked me hard to the ground and spat on me. How could I forget that? Seeing my indifference, she continued. I know your career is thriving now. Could you please help me? You don't have to give much. Just 300,000 yuan will do. I want to open a clothing store. I saw that fitness pants you sold were quite popular. I also want to buy some goods to sell. If they sell well, I'll purchase other types of clothes. When I make a fortune, I'll expand the business and then pay you back. I watched her indulging in her illusory dream and didn't have the heart to interrupt her immediately. After she finished speaking, I slowly said, Are you done? If so, step aside. Don't block my way. She became hysterical, shouting, Do you really have to be so heartless? Your brother and I aren't divorced yet. I'm still your sister-in-law. I ignored her and walked straight ahead. Before I had gone far, she suddenly rushed up as if she were going to fight me. Then she took out her phone and started frantically taking pictures of my face, muttering, You ungrateful woman. I'll expose you. The next day the internet exploded. My sister-in-law uploaded a video, slandering me for owing her a large sum of money and not repaying it, and also saying that I was cold-blooded and ruthless, even cheating my own relatives. Since my face appeared in the video, it instantly attracted many curious netizens. Now a bunch of people on the internet started criticizing me, saying that I was unethical and bullying my own relatives. However, netizens were not so easily fooled. One person commented below, You said she owes you money. Then show the evidence. Making unfounded accusations out of thin air. Do you really think the internet is a lawless place? When I clicked into this person's profile, I found it was my husband's alt account. I sent him a message. Well done, hubby. Other netizens also came to their senses one after another and started typing in the comment section. Evidence? Please show the evidence. Thanks. Evidence. I want evidence. My sister-in-law simply couldn't produce any evidence. She then posted another video, crying and fabricating baseless accusations to smear me, but never mentioning the evidence at all. However, netizens didn't buy it. Instead, they kept demanding that she provide evidence, saying that if she had no evidence, they would call the police to arrest her. Realizing that this matter was escalating, I thought I couldn't just sit around and wait for the worst. So I also recorded a video and said simply but firmly, It seems I've really become famous. All sorts of people want to ride on my coattails. Regarding those chaotic remarks on the internet, let me explain to everyone. First of all, I've never owed anyone a single cent. Secondly, the person who said I owed money is my sister-in-law. She asked me for 300,000 yuan. I didn't agree, so she made up such nonsense to smear me. Legally, it doesn't hold water, and morally, it's also unjustifiable. Everyone got it. As soon as I posted this video, my sister-in-law downloaded the app and immediately canceled her account that night. My fans spread the news, saying that I had handled this matter brilliantly and bravely. Look, when I checked the backstage, my followers had increased significantly again. I really had to thank my wonderful sister-in-law. A week later, my phone suddenly received a text message from an unknown number. Judging from the content, it should have been sent by my brother. He said that our old house was going to be demolished. After all, I was also part of the family, and I was asked to come to the old house tomorrow evening to discuss the division of the family property. I pondered in my heart that this matter surely wasn't that simple. So I searched online. As a result, I found that there was no news of this dilapidated house being demolished at all. Moreover, that area had long been designated as a dangerous building area, and now there were few people living there. I wondered what malicious plan my brother was hatching in his mind. Anyway, there must be a huge trap waiting for me. After thinking it over, I directly forwarded the text message to my sister-in-law. She had always been obsessed with money. Let's see if she would fall into the trap for the sake of this money. As expected, like a cat drawn to the smell of fish, she completely disregarded everything and went to that dilapidated house alone in the dark at night. And I was in a tall building not far away, quietly observing everything. As night fell, the area around the old house was so quiet that even the meow of a kitten could be heard. My brother had long been lying in ambush there, waiting for me to walk right into the trap. What he didn't expect was that the person who came was not me, but my sister-in-law. Because there were no streetlights around, he couldn't see clearly who it was. He thought it must be me. As soon as my sister-in-law stepped into the courtyard, my brother emerged from the darkness, carrying an oil barrel in his hand. I watched from afar, my heart in my throat. In my previous life, he had burned me alive in this way. Just thinking of the scene in my previous life, I clenched my fists and my blood seemed to freeze. The excruciating pain from that time came back again. I tried hard to push those memories away, and gradually calmed down. I saw my brother open the gasoline barrel, and pour gasoline around the house in a circle. Then he coldly lit a lighter. With a loud boom, the fire instantly engulfed the entire house. After setting the fire, my brother ran away. Even from a great distance, I could hear my sister-in-law's screams, but she simply couldn't escape. I watched my sister-in-law struggling in the sea of fire until she finally stopped moving. In my heart, I felt pity for her on one hand, and on the other hand, I thought it was her deserved retribution. Early the next morning, I opened the short video app as usual. The first video that popped up on the homepage was about the fire that happened last night. The title read, "A sudden fire broke out in an old building on the outskirts of the city last night, and a woman lost her life." Looking at the pitch-black ruins in the video, my heart skipped a beat. Although I had known about these circumstances for a long time, seeing the scenes broadcast in the news still made my chest feel tight. The reporter at the scene was still saying, "How tragic this is. And that poor woman couldn't escape." Then the reporter suddenly changed the subject, and said that the police had found some clues at the scene, and, based on surveillance investigations, had arrested the suspect overnight. The next second, the camera turned and gave a close-up of my brother. My brother was tightly covered, looking disheveled, and was being taken into a police car. My mother was still desperately holding his hand, shouting that he must be wronged, and that they had arrested the wrong person. Not long after, my brother was sentenced to death. When my mother learned of this news, she completely broke down. First she cried all day long, and later, she became delirious, sitting at the door, muttering words that no one could understand. She called everyone dear son. At first, the neighbors came to comfort her, but later, seeing her like this, they all avoided her. Later, I heard that she was living on the streets, scavenging for food. No one knew where she had gone. One morning, her body was found by a cleaner in the garbage dump. It was already stinking. Without the entanglement of these leeches, I felt as if I had been reborn. My life trajectory began to extend in a sunny direction. I devoted myself wholeheartedly to my beloved career, and became a super popular mom-to-be blogger. I established in-depth cooperation with Sister Andy, and opened a new company together. My career was thriving. My live streaming room was always bustling with activity. Fans interacted with me warmly, sharing their daily lives and discussing various topics. It had become a common spiritual home for everyone. As my popularity soared, I gradually emerged in the industry. I not only established cooperative relationships with big brands, but was also often invited to participate in various online and offline activities, and my influence was growing day by day. While my career was flourishing, my family life was also as sweet as honey. I walked through life hand in hand with my husband. He understood and supported me, and was the solid pillar of our warm little family. Soon our child was born, a lively and lovely little princess. Every day, seeing my daughter's innocent smile and hearing her sweet voice, all my fatigue vanished instantly. Her arrival added endless joy and happiness to our lives. Those days of entanglement with my leech, like family, seemed to have gone far away. Looking back on the past, the memories were fading. Now I have a successful career and a happy family. Every day is full of hope and vitality. I am grateful for the turning point in my fate that allowed me to break free from the shackles and live my true self. In the days to come, I will continue to manage my life with my heart, share the ordinary joys of life with my family, and let the melody of happiness reverberate in every ordinary day. The end.